And welcome to the age group briefing for the ITU World Triathlon Grand Final here in Rotterdam. My name is Leslie Buchanan,
And my name is Eva van Groningen.
and we just like to call her Eva, and she
Yes.
seems to answer to that, so that's what we're going with. So here's the briefing. We've got a number of things that we want to go through with you today. So here's the agenda. Feel free to pause and stop if you want to look at a map a little bit longer, but please don't fast forward through any of the information because you might miss something that's really crucial, or you might have corrected something that we've said earlier. There's some important people to note. Thanos Nikopoulos and Sarah Taylor are your technical delegates this weekend. And because it's such a large event and there's so much going on, we actually have a number of assistant technical delegates as well. I'm one of your race referees along with Frank Stapleton, and Eva is your project manager, and she's been looking forward to greeting you to
Yes.
Rotterdam for the last
Welcome.
couple of years. If we have to convene the competition jury, you'll probably have spoken to Frank or myself before that time as referees. Thanos would be chairing the competition jury, and Barry Siff and Christy Brower will be also representing individuals on the competition jury, but hopefully we won't have to use it. There's a number of times that we want you to be aware of, and one of them is the swim course familiarization from 10 to 12. And another great opportunity for you to get out and see the course is the bike course familiarization. And Eva's going to take us through where that bike familiarization is going to go.
Yes, so we start on the Boompjes, which is near the Erasmus Bridge and the Nieuwe Leuven Bridge. You see it on the map here pointed out. We do a part of the bike course. This is actually a technical part. We will start on the Boompjes and go to the first bridge called the Willemsbrug. Then we continue on the Koninginnebrug. And from here on, we will get you back onto the starting point, or you can continue with the rest of the age group course. So it's the first part of the course that you will do bike familiarization.
Excellent. Okay, and there's some names of some things there if you didn't understand Eva's Dutch of those names. Okay, so here's some more timelines that you need to be aware of. We have registration. The Parade of Nations is always a fun
opening
event.
ceremony at the Laurenskerk, very famous and well-known church in Rotterdam.
Yeah, and tickets are hard to come by, so if you have one, then certainly take advantage of going to the opening ceremonies. And then we'll continue on with registration on Friday and on Saturday as well. Can you remind me where registration is taking place?
Yes, the registration is actually in the Triathlon Village. That's how we call it on the Westerkade. And there is a big tent that says registration above it, so you can't miss it.
Excellent. Okay, and then also on Saturday from 3 till 6 p.m., we'll have the age group bike check-in for the Olympic distance or standard distance only.
Yeah.
They're going to be bringing in their bikes the day before. The sprint distance will bring in their bikes on the day.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, this is what it's going to look like for those Olympic distance or standard distance athletes. And you can see when you have to bring in your last minute gear. And then there's the great closing party and the medal ceremonies for all of those of you who are able to get an award. That would be great. And then this is what the sprint distance schedule looks like on the same day. It's slightly different because you'll be bringing in your bikes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really important that the athletes register in person, and they must have photo identification that has their name and your photo on the same piece of identification. Doesn't matter how good or bad your photo is, it's just that it has to have a photo. And then because we need to support the local economy, you need to make sure that you've paid your race fee. Okay, and somebody will be able to help you with that on the time. When you pick up your race package, please check to make sure that it has all of these things in it. And the all-important wristband that you're going to be getting that's going to help you get into transition areas to the opening and closing ceremonies. Can you talk to us a little bit about the goodie bag?
Yes, you also receive a bag that has some stuff in it. It also has a Speedo voucher in it, which is a boat ticket. You may have seen them going around alongside the river. And you will have your public transportation card, so use that. At the registration, there is also a verification point for your timing chip. You can actually take a good photo with it as well. But yeah, go and check it there. If something is not right, your name is spelled wrong or anything, we are able to help you at registration desk.
Excellent. So that's kind of like when people get world records at athletics and they take a photo with their information of the time trip. That would be fun. That's a cool thing to be able to do. Okay, so here are the wave starts. This would be for the Olympic distance or the standard distance. So be aware of what gate you're going to be checking into, what time you're going to be checking into it on Saturday and Sunday, and what color your race cap is. So this is all really good information, as well as when you can get your bikes out on the day. So there's a few of these slides, so figure out what age group you're in and take a look and see what information is there for you. But you need all of this information, and you want to make sure that your bib number matches the one that's in your wave. Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then this third slide is for the sprint distance. Okay, and you can see that some groups have those coveted pink swim caps. And
yes.
So you might want to trade.
Everyone wants it. No, everyone wants the pink one.
Everybody
or
wants
the orange one.
Or the orange ones for the Netherlands. So make sure that that you keep your swim cap so you can trade it at the closing ceremonies if you want. And so this is the next sprint distance schedule. So there are 2 transitions. This is unusual for some people. So it's really important that you're super organized and you put the right equipment at the right transition. I've had elite athletes who have not done that in time and showed up in second transition and their running shoes weren't there. So you got to make sure that you're organized in that way. But be aware that there are these other waves going on in the day, so you can't cycle or warm up on the bike or the run course. So this is how you're going to get into transition 2, which you're going to set up first.
Yeah, so when you look at the map, you see a big green area. That's transition 2. That's where you place your running gear. When you look to the left, you see transition age group check-in. That's where you check in. So go there with your wristband, with your gear, place it, and then on the other side you see check out. That's the right side. That's where you leave the transition zone. There's a slide coming up which shows the flow. Yes, this one. Thanks, Leslie. This is actually showing the flow of the transition zone. As you can see, you're coming in from the right side with your bike where the dismount line is. You get off and walk on the dotted red stripes towards the lane where your bike is parked. And then you see the yellow line, which is where you walk out onto the run course. There are toilets in each transition zone. And place your bike underneath your number in your shoes.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so there will be technical officials and there will be volunteers to help you with the flow once you get there, but it's always a good idea to familiarize yourself with it. And this is a great opportunity for some of the athletes. Can you tell us about these water shuttles?
This is actually for the Olympic or standard distance only. This is on Sunday morning because, as you may have noticed, there is a river in between the 2 transition zones. We have actually organized water transport for you. It's only very important that you look at this schedule. As you can see, there's a limited capacity on the boat. The first waves 1 to 12 are able to take either the boat at 5:30 or 6:30, and waves 13 to 20 can take the boat at 7:30, and waves 21 to 27 are able to take the boat at 9 o'clock. The numbers that are in the priority boarding start numbers, they get how do you say that? They have
priority.
They get priority first. So if you miss your boat and there's no space on the next one, then you still have to walk. So please be organized and get the boats that you are assigned to.
Okay, remind me again why this is just for the standard athletes and not the sprint distance
because
athletes.
The standard, the Olympic, they have checked in their bike already, so you don't have a bike. And the sprint distance, they are checking in their bike on the Sunday itself. There is an assigned route to follow to go from T2 to T1 with your bike, whereas the Olympic athletes already, their bike is, they don't have a bike, so it's already there.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So the sprint distance athletes will be cycling towards T1. Good. Okay, and this is access to T1.
Yeah, so actually for the Olympic athletes, you see the boat shuttle in the middle of the map. That is where you get off. From there, you walk onto the transition zone T1 for your last minute bike gear check and gear. And once you have done that, you can walk back to the start to drop off your finish bag. For the sprint athletes, they can cycle all the way up until the check-in point, which is on the left top of the transition zone. And also here there are toilets. Yeah.
Good. You can never have too many toilets.
Exactly.
Okay, and then this is going to be the transition access during the event.
Yeah. So once you get out of the swim exit, you walk onto the blue carpet towards the transition zone. This is all fenced off, so you can't lose the way. And from there on, you walk into your lane where your bike is parked, and you continue with your bike onto the red dotted line. And after the mount line, you're able to get on and follow the red bike course.
And you've done the bike familiarization, so you know part of the course, so it's all great.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they're going to get two bags.
Important for you guys. You have two bags, an orange one which says swim, and an orange one which says finish, and the blue one which says swim. Your swim bag, you place it in transition zone 1 near your bike. Because when you get out of the swim, you place your wetsuit and your swim gear in there, so we can transport it for you to the finish. The finish bag, you put all your gear in there, and you drop it off at the back drop-off tent at the transition zone T1, that is near the start. And it's important that you leave all your gear in there and put it in the bag tight, like that it's not hanging out, because we only transport bags for you to the finish. After the finish, you can then pick it up.
So just to be clear, the finish bags are not just for athletes from Finland, they're for everybody.
Yes.
Okay, good. It would be confusing if we had to have Canadian bags and all that. Okay, so you're going to be doing the transfer of the athletes' equipment, so they don't need to know so much about this except where they're going to drop their bags.
So in the orange spots, you see the bag drop-off in front of Hotel New York. That's where you leave your gear. And then after the finish, you pick it up at the back pickup, which is on the just straight after the finish.
Excellent, because that's when you're going to need that bag.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's some things that, as the referee, I need you to be aware of. Leg and arm covers are allowed on the swim. You can wear a wetsuit up to 5 millimeters. We don't expect the water to get too warm here, so wetsuits will be allowed. But you can't wear a vest warmer, and you can't wear gloves on the swim. Okay, but you can cover up any other part of your body other than your face, your hands, or your feet. And on the bike and the run, Eva is demonstrating that you can wear a long sleeve shirt underneath your uniform, but that must be worn for the entire event. So you can't take off that shirt during the event. You can wear arm warmers, but you can only remove them in transition. Okay, you can't hand them off to anybody else. This is a disqualification. If you want to wear a jacket, that's fine, but it has to be transparent so we can see your uniform, or it has to be your National Federation kit so that we can see which country you are from. Okay, so here's the check-in procedures for the Olympic distance, our standard distance athletes. They're going to be checking in their bikes the day before. That's mandatory. You don't have a choice on that. Everybody's checking in their bikes on the Saturday. We're going to be looking to make sure that your bike is legal for the frame, the wheels, your helmet, and so you need to have your helmet on that day so that we can check that as well. Or we'll check your helmet on race day, sorry, but you should have your helmet with you because you probably rode your bike down to check it in. So you're going to have your helmet with you anyway, but we'll check it on race day and we'll check your uniform. And there'll be bike transition technicians on site, so if you need to blow off your tires. You can't have any towels or balloons or fireworks or anything going off in transition. You need to keep that as clear as possible. For the sprint distance, it looks a lot the same, except we're going to be looking for different things on your bike because you're allowed to draft, and you're going to be bringing in your bikes on race day, okay? So remember that race band because that's going to be really important to get you where you need to go at the right time. Okay, so the bike check is really important that you understand the rules and that you know what type of handlebars are allowed and what kind of bike frames. There are a number of bike frames exceptions that you can look at to see if your bike fits that, if you have an odd looking bike. If you need to put something onto your bike for whatever reason, you need to get approval from the race referee, so either from Frank or myself after this briefing. And not after you watch this briefing, but after this briefing was played for the age group managers. So hopefully you talk to your age group managers about that. So for the age group sprint, which is the draft legal race, this is the type of equipment that we'll be looking for. So obviously the green check marks are goes and the red X's are no's. So make sure that you're familiar with that and that there's no surprises on Saturday or Sunday for your equipment. So Olympic sprint distance, 1 lap swim, 2 laps on the bike, 2 laps on the run. And for those sprint distance people, it's a slightly shorter swim lap, and then 1 lap on the run and 1 lap on the bike, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Swim, bike, run. Sorry about that.
Thought you knew that.
Sorry, I have it written down on my hand. I forgot to look. Okay, so we have the proper distances for all of you, and this is an overall view of the course, but we're going to take some time and look at the course in a different way in a little bit. So here we go. This is the bike course, and we've kind of broken it down into 2 sections. So you go out and you meet the loops that you're going to.
For the bike commutation, that's the meeting point over here.
Okay,
and
so
this
you
is
do
also
that part,
yeah.
And then you're going to do these loops out here.
Yeah.
You don't have to go back. So you've done that. First red dot you saw, we stopped there where we're going to meet for the familiarization. And then you're going to, for the Olympic distance, you're going to go out and do this lap.
Yes.
Twice. You don't need to go back to the starting point.
No.
Okay.
So this is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go into the finish when you're finished, whichever lap you're doing.
First have to do the run.
Yeah.
And then you finish.
Yes. I meant to finish on the bike.
Oh.
Okay, you're really picking on me today. Okay, so great opportunity. Not always do we have an opportunity to give age groups a swim warm-up at a world championship, so this is quite special. But the swim warm-up is going to take place behind the pontoon, but it's really important that you get to the pen, your starting pen area, on time. So you need to be out of the water 30 minutes before your start, okay? And then we'll walk you through those pen areas. Okay, and we'll move you forward. We'll be talking to you, giving you any last minute instructions, making sure that you have your timing chip on, making sure that you have the correct swim cap, and then get you down to the pontoon on time. Okay, it's going to be a regular start. You're going to be in the water. You're going to hear on your mark. The air horn's going to go, and the race is going to start. But as I said, it's really important that you start on the right time, on the right wave. So if you start before your original wave, then you're going to get disqualified. If you start after your wave, let's say you sleep in a little bit, you're a little bit jet lagged, your time is going to start when your wave actually started and not when you started.
Yeah.
So you're giving all your competition all of that time, so why would you do that? So just get there on time. If there is a false start, we're going to have several horn blasts. We're going to get you to come back to the pontoon and take your spot again. But hopefully that won't happen. Today, this was the air and water temperature.
Yeah, this morning.
Okay, so that's why we're thinking that's going to be a wetsuit swim. Okay, and you're going to make sure that you take all your equipment.
It's really Dutch weather. You know?
It is Dutch weather. I know now why you guys are famous for your windmills.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what the swim looks like. So you'll see the dark blue is for the Olympic or standard distance, and the light blue is for the sprint distance.
Yeah, and I think in here, good to mention is that the Olympic athletes have all the orange buoys is a right turn, and they have one yellow buoy which is a left turn. For the sprint distance, it's all right turns, and the age group, like the Olympic buoys, will be removed after the Olympic race. So you only have to worry about your own buoys.
Perfect. That sounds great. Okay, and then this is what transition 1 is going to look like.
Yeah, I think I just mentioned that as well.
Yeah, you did.
No?
So we'll just go on. Okay. So just a reminder, as I said before, all your used equipment is into TA. You're going to put it in that bag. On the bike, you're going to be wearing your race number, your bib number on the back, and you're going to mount at the free line. Okay, pretty standard. Also, this is for the age group standard. It's two sections of 20K. There's a slight hill.
We have one bridge, which is called the Van Brienen Noordbrug.
I'm sure it is.
Yes, it's hilly, but not as what you're used to. It's just a big bridge.
Okay. And we have a couple of penalty boxes. We're going to show you those on the map. During the standard, you could be penalized for drafting, blocking, littering. There's a number of things that you need to be aware of. So make sure that if you do get penalized on the bike, that you stop at the next penalty box. Because if you don't serve that penalty, you could get disqualified. Make sure that you don't draft behind other athletes or behind a motorcycle if there happens to be one near you. So be very careful about that. And know the distance between the front wheel of your bike and the front wheel of somebody else's bike is 10 meters. For the age group sprint, you're allowed to draft, so obviously you wouldn't get a drafting penalty. Very similar course with that bridge in it, right?
Yeah, exactly the same.
But the littering zones are marked as well, so make sure that you throw any litter into those spaces, okay? Yeah. And so you're only going to see a yellow card if you're doing the sprint, if you do anything wrong at all. So you're always going to be cycling on the right and passing on the left.
Yes.
Okay, say that again with me now. Cycling on the right, passing on the left. Okay, so that's really important to get to know that. So this is what the course looks like overall.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the blue card is for drafting, and it has a different amount of time than if you just litter, which you would get a yellow card for. So the technical official is going to blow their whistle, say your number, and show you a card. Really important that you're aware of which color card you're getting, because you're going to need to tell the penalty box technical official what color it was so that they know what time penalty to give you. Okay, so make sure that you're aware of that. And of course, in the sprint distance, there's no penalty for drafting, so you'd only get shown a yellow card, so not as important for you. Okay, for the Olympic distance, this is just a slide to show you again about how you can stay away from drafting and what you need to do to overtake. There are some areas that, although we don't encourage drafting, we won't be able to look at it because there are some places on the course that are very narrow and that we won't be able to penalize you, and we're going to show you those on the map. But we're not encouraging you to draft at those times, but we understand that there will be drafting because of the narrowness of the course. But there shouldn't be blocking. You should try to get out of the way of any athletes who are behind you. Okay? So these are the points that drafting will not be.
And that's the yellow parts of this on this map.
Yeah. Okay. So be aware of those, but try to stay away from other athletes if you can. So this is really important to note where these penalty boxes are. This is penalty box number 1. So if you get
this is near the Van Brienen Noordbrug.
Yeah.
Leslie is going to say it one time today.
Yeah, maybe at the closing ceremonies, I'll have a few more days.
So the first penalty box you can actually see on the Schaardijk, it's called. And the second one is located near the other bridge, the Erasmus Bridge, on the left-hand side of the map, and that is on the Boompjes.
Okay. It's kind of, I'm sure you're not swearing at me, but I can't be sure. If we have a problem on the course and we need to warn you to slow down, we'll have volunteers and technical officials and part of Eva's team with flags and whistles and asking you to slow down. If we do that, there's a reason for it, and we'd ask you to abide by that because we need to make the course safe for everybody. So please be aware of that. And then in transition 2, it's going to look a lot like transition 1. You need to leave your bike and your helmet there. You're going to switch your race number around to the front. So better to have it on a race belt. And then you're going to dismount before you get it.
Yeah, and I think very good to mention as well is that in transition T1, your start number you look for as at the digits without the first digit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it
And
does.
in the second transition, your start number consists of 5 numbers. In the second transition, you will look for the whole start number. And in transition T1, you only look for the first 4 digits.
Yeah. It's not as confusing as it sounds because you'll have already seen it because you'll have done it before to set up your transition. Okay, and so this is what transition 2 looks like. Okay, and the run course. There are 3 aid stations, and can you tell me a little bit about the water that the athletes are going to be seeing?
I actually have one here.
Okay.
This is the water. It's the dolphin packs. It's from our partner, and you actually find one in your goodie bag as well. You try it at home. I don't try it here because otherwise I wet Leslie. But yeah, use it so you know what it will be on the course during the race.
Give it a bit of practice. Some of you who raced last year in Cozumel will have seen something very similar to it.
Yeah.
But it's not a bottle. It's not a cup. It's in a bag. So it's really important that you do put those bags in the littering zones only.
Yeah.
Or else you will get penalized. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll have a number of photographers around the course, but at the finish line we will have a photo finish. We'd ask that you move right through the finish area so that other people can finish.
Yeah.
And so this is just the sprint course. It's just a difference in the distances, and you'll see along with the water bags, you're going to have some fruit and
some dextro, and in the recovery area there's even more for you to eat.
Excellent.
After the hard workout.
Yeah, so it'll be well worth getting to that finish line. Okay, and so this is what the run course looks like. Okay, just follow the bouncing red ball. Okay, and this diagram, it looks like something special, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, we're not sure what yet, but if someone can come up with what it looks like, we have a prize for that.
Excellent. Okay, so that's the turnaround point. So if I'm doing the Olympic distance, I'm going to do that again, right?
Yeah.
But if not, I'm going to go into the finish.
Yeah.
Okay, really good to know. There is doping control for age groupers at this event, so it's really important that everybody has some photo ID in their finish bag so that the doping control officers can rectify that you're the actual person that they say they are. If you have any questions about doping control at this event, there is an expo booth that you can go to and find out a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
But you have asked for this to keep our sport clean, so we're trying to give you what you asked for. Unfortunately, we can't give you everything that you asked for, so unfortunately, this is the weather for the next couple of days.
Yes. What can we say about the Dutch weather? The good news is when you look at this, the Sunday is going to be the best day, your race day. So I think we should keep that spirit up. But
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And we can't do anything about the weather. All we can do is prepare for it.
Yeah.
And we already talked about what clothing you're going to be able to wear because of it. So so just be smart about it and take care of yourself. If you are looking for this presentation, it seems a bit ironic to tell you where it's going to be found, but this is where it is going to be. If you haven't found it or you want to send it to your friends or to my mother, that would be great. This is where the briefing is to Eva's mom. Okay, so we want to wish you a very safe and fair race. Again, my name is Leslie, and this is Eva.
Yeah.
And if you see us around the race course, please come by and say hi.
Enjoy your time in Rotterdam as well, and best of all to you on Sunday.
Yeah, have a great time. Bye.
Bye.